I have a wife who I've been married to for 2 years. Her name is Sandra. On that day, it was Sandra's birthday, so we were out on a date at the aquarium. On our way back, an unexpected incident occurred.
Hey, what a freaking sexy girl, huh?
You want to hang out with us?
Suddenly, some guys who approached us from the front started calling out to us. Both of them looked like they were bad news. Each of the men had large tattoos that indicated the underworld on their arms. Not wanting any trouble, we decided to just ignore the two and kept walking. Thinking they would go away if we ignored them, they kept following us persistently.
Hey ladies, don't ignore us, okay?
You see us, right?
Then, the guy with sunglasses grabbed Sandra's arm. Blocked by them, she showed her irritation.
Look, you guys have been annoying since the start. Can't you just go away?
Without showing any fear, she said so in a strong tone. Hoping they would back off a bit, it turned out to be counterproductive.
Are you, by chance, the feisty type? I love women with a strong will, you know? And if she's as beautiful as you, that's just perfect.
The men ogled her as if undressing her with their eyes. I could tell her anger was growing.
I'm married, okay? There's no way I'd hang out with you guys.
Saying that, she flaunted her wedding ring on her left hand. Apparently, they hadn't realized we were a married couple.
You guys are seriously married?
Yes, but is that any of your business?
No, it's just too funny cause you're so mismatched. You're beautiful, but the guy next to you looks too gloomy to match.
Right? Did you lower your standards a lot to marry him?
They started mocking us as they looked at us. Indeed, Sandra is way out of my league in terms of beauty. On the other hand, I'm neither particularly handsome nor a good physique. Thinking it's nothing short of a miracle that I could marry her isn't an overstatement. We're probably thought of as a mismatched couple by those around us. Sandra's anger intensified as I was ridiculed.
Can you stop making fun of my husband without knowing anything about him? He is tens of times more attractive than you guys. Oh, there's really no comparison, right?
I was delighted by her words. Despite being me, to be loved this much by my wife is truly a blessing. However, it didn't get through to the men at all.
You're just saying in front of him, right? Well, you can't just split up easily once you're married.
Or maybe, do you have some dirt on you? Huh? If that's the case, we can save you.
They were clearly drunk. They reeked of alcohol even as they spoke, making Sandra grimace.
If you're that desperate to mess around with women, why not hit up a bar or something? Coming after a married woman like me, are you out of your mind?
We don't care if she's married or taken. If she's hot, that's all that matters. You're just our type with your strong will, good looks, and figure. Why not forget your husband today and have fun with us?
Saying so, the man with a cap grabbed Sandra's arm. However, she forcefully pulled her arm away from him.
Wow, you've got some strength.
He seemed a bit surprised after being pushed away. I felt an urgent need to intervene before her anger exploded. Feeling a sense of urgency, I decided to give some advice to them. Listen, guys. Please, try not to anger my wife too much. You'll regret it if you do. But my warning fell on deaf ears. The two of them looked down on me even more after I spoke.
What's up, gloomy guy? Just keep quiet and lend her us, and we'll be fine. If you want money, we can give you some.
Then, the man with sunglasses took out some change from his pocket and threw it at me.
Stop it! What are you doing to my husband?
Thought if we gave him money, he'd hand over you.
I have no intention of handing over my wife to you guys, please. Can you stop bothering us anymore? I'd also like to avoid any trouble.
You scared of us or what?
No, it's not you guys I'm afraid of. When I answered in a low voice, the two of them looked a bit annoyed.
Just admit you're scared of us.
You're freaking out, aren't you?
Saying that, the man with sunglasses came close to my face. Honestly, I was scared of them, but there was something else I feared even more. Still, thinking I was intimidated, he threatened me by bringing his fist close.
If you hand over your wife, we won't lay a hand on you. How about you lend her to us for today? And you know what happens if you refuse, right?
What would happen?
Maybe we'll use you as a tool for stress relief. We haven't gone wild lately.
Can you stop joking around? If you lay a hand on my husband, I won't forgive you.
What can you possibly do, lady?
We're gangsters, okay?
The word gangsters got a big reaction from Sandra. I had thought these guys were bad news, but hearing they were gangsters, I was surprised too.
Are you guys really gangsters?
Yeah, we're part of the Free Nomads.
The Free Nomads, huh?
She muttered.
Maybe you know about the Free Nomads, huh?
Of course. They're well known around here.
Awesome, we've become quite famous now.
The ignorant men said, pleased with themselves. Their time of acting smug won't last long, but after revealing they were the gang, they started getting more carried away.
So lady, you'll hang out with us today, right?
Let's have a pleasant date tonight with us.
We'll pay for the hotel in full.
But in return, you'll provide us with the best service. Okay.
Then, they surrounded Sandra, trying to take her away. I grabbed one of the men's arms firmly. Please, stop.
Hey, quit it. You're an outsider, so back off.
I'm not an outsider. She is my wife. I won't hand over her to anyone. Please, stop bothering us. I mustered all my courage to tell them off. Of course, I was scared, but I had to be brave as a man. However, that only made them angrier. The sunglasses man roughly shook off my arm and punched me squarely in the face.
Go away.
Struck squarely, I fell to the ground. Then, Sandra rushed over to me.
Kevin! Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. With her help, I slowly stood up. Then, she turned towards them and made with a ferocious look.
Such racketeers. Call all your bosses here right away.
I thought that was a bad sign. However, the men seemed utterly unconcerned. They started bursting into laughter as they looked at Sandra.
Lady, what's with the sudden outburst?
I've had enough. Just call your bosses, will you? Or are you too low on the ladder to even do that?
What? Are you mocking us?
Even if you're the lady, if you make us angry, we won't go easy on you.
Those men couldn't stand being looked down upon. Next, they directed their anger at Sandra. However, she didn't flinch or show any fear, standing her ground firmly. There was a reason for that.
I'm not scared of you guys at all.
Okay. You've got quite the spirit, huh? But you should be careful about angering gangsters, you know, or you might end up in the afterlife, okay?
That's my line. If you apologize to my husband right here, right now, I might just let this slide. But if you're not willing to reflect, then we have other plans.
As Sandra declared that, the men started laughing even louder. They clearly underestimated us.
Tell us what's your plan. Calling the cops.
We won't call the police because it would be troublesome for us as well. We have another way to send you guys straight to hell.
I'm curious about this hell you're talking about. Go ahead, try to scare us.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
I had an intuition that those two were done for. But they had no sense of danger at all. Meanwhile, Sandra started making a call to someone. She finished the call in about 5 minutes. After finishing the conversation, she directed a daring smile toward the guys.
Your hell starts now. Make sure you two don't run away.
What? Who did you call?
You guys probably know them very well. I guess being low level, you guys wouldn't recognize my face.
Hey, what have you been saying? Tell us who you called.
They repeatedly asked Sandra who she had called, but she ignored their queries. About 10 minutes later, a black luxury car arrived where we were. A menacing-looking man with an aura of danger stepped out of the car. As soon as they saw him, The two men froze as if time had stopped.
Wait, isn't that man?
They turned pale with fear. The menacing-looking man approached them.
Are you the fools who dared to mess with Sandra? Seems like you're from the Free Nomads, huh?
Hold on, lady. You're acquainted with the boss of the Don Syndicate.
Acquainted? This man is my dad.
At Sandra's words, the two men turned deathly pale.
Seriously, the daughter of the boss.
Yes, Sandra is indeed my daughter. You two are with the Free Nomads, but didn't know about her.
No, we had no idea.
Their earlier bravado was gone, and the men were visibly diminished. My father-in-law named Wally was the boss of the Dawn Syndicate, a mafia family, and Sandra was his daughter. Of course, I knew that when I married her. Upon learning Sandra's identity, the two men changed their attitude instantly, begging for forgiveness.
We're terribly sorry for our disrespectful behavior. Please, could you keep this incident a secret from our chairman?
Don't mess with me. I came all the way here, and you think I'd let this slide? For starters, you're coming to our office. We'll have a nice long chat there with some of our members, shall we?
At Wally's suggestion, the men started trembling.
Guys, get into the car quickly.
Without any chance to resist, they were forcefully put into the car. Sandra and I also headed to the office. Upon arriving, all the members of the Dawn Syndicate were present. It seems they had heard the situation from Wally. The members directed sharp glances at the two. The men were made to sit formally in the middle of the room. Then, Wally approached them with a smirk.
You guys had bad luck messing with my daughter. Ha! I don't go easy when it comes to my family. Get ready for a very fun hell.
They were sweating profusely. Then, they desperately begged Wally for forgiveness.
We truly regret bothering your daughter. Please, let's resolve this peacefully. We'll pay whatever money is necessary.
Of course, you will. But before that, I want to have a word with your chairman, okay?
No way!
Mention of the chairman made the men's faces go even paler. They clearly did not want it involved.
Please, don't tell our chairman.
Why? Would that be a problem for you?
Well, we've caused some trouble before, and we were told we'd be fired if anything else happened. We can't afford to lose our jobs here.
They pleaded desperately. However, unfazed by their pleas, Wally began making a phone call. Likely to the chairman of the Free Nomads. The call ended in just a few minutes.
Your chairman said he'd come without hesitation. He also mentioned he'd like to have a thorough chat with you guys.
Oh my God!
Man, damn it.
The men were utterly despondent. Soon after, the chairman of the Free Nomads arrived at the office. Wally and the chairman have been acquaintances for years, and I had met him a few times before. Upon seeing the chairman, the two men looked down and started trembling. The chairman quickly approached them.
We're so sorry. We had no idea we were messing with a daughter of the Dawn Syndicate.
Like that matters. You two troubled someone related to the Dawn Syndicate, right? Did you guys properly apologize?
We did, but they won't forgive us.
That's to be expected. You guys tried to disgrace a precious member of the boss's family.
Then the chairman came over to Sandra and me to offer his apologies.
I'm sorry my fools interfered with your date. Especially since it's Sandra's birthday.
Of course, we didn't blame the chairman. We've also received good treatment from him and owe him favors.
Mister, please don't be sorry. It's these two who are at fault, don't worry. Of course, they will take responsibility.
Don't worry, I plan to punish these guys.
He then faced to Wally to apologize. But it seemed Wally hadn't called him to place blame. Having finished his apologies, the chairman approached the two once again. His expression towards them was as cold as ice.
You two are fired as of today.
Fired?
Of course, it's not going to be a free dismissal. You guys will pay a fine of $1 million for troubling the Dawn Syndicate.
$1 million? We don't have that kind of money. $1 million is just unrealistic.
Didn't you steal from the gang's funds recently? Before that, you extorted money from civilians, catching the police's eye, right? This $1 million includes compensation for all the trouble you've caused. You two will pool your resources to pay that fine to me. Got it.
The men were stunned by the staggering amount.
We of course realize we've caused trouble to the free nomads, but $1 million isn't feasible. You know we don't have the money, right?
That's none of my concern. My word is final.
Such an absurd demand.
It's your own fault, isn't it? If you want to complain further, I can double the amount.
Please, have mercy.
These two seemed to be low-ranking gangsters, and had advantage of their status to commit numerous misdeeds over the years. The chairman must have been thoroughly disgusted with their behavior. It seems he intended to fire them regardless of this incident. Perhaps realizing their situation was hopeless, they attempted to flee when they saw an opening. However, Sandra quickly subdued them.
Trying to run away, aren't you?
They were shocked by her strength. That's when Wally spoke up.
Looks like we need to start by straightening out your rotten attitudes. Trying to escape right in front of us. That takes some nerve, doesn't it?
You know, it was just a reflex.
For starters, we'll straighten you out ourselves.
What are you going to do to us?
Well, we're mafias, so you know what.
With that, he ordered a nearby officer.
Beat them up right here for 30 minutes by the whole Dawn Syndicate. Okay.
The members nodded in agreement at his command. The two men's faces turned pale.
Please wait. We apologize for trying to escape. Just please, no violence.
Being beaten by the entire members, we won't last.
Does it scare of getting a taste of your own medicine? You've been unreasonable with others before, haven't you? We're just returning the favor.
Despite their desperate pleas, Wally was unmoved and ordered the members to proceed. As instructed, the members started beating them. About 30 minutes had passed since the promise, and they looked unbearable. Their faces were red and swollen, their eyes half closed. Breathing seemed difficult for the two. Wally approached them with a smirk.
Learned your lesson yet?
Please, no more hitting.
The two trembled as they looked at him. Wally was rumored to be a legend who had dismantled several organizations in the past. If they were to be seriously struck by such a person, they might even lose their lives. They must have been terrified of what he could do.
Relax. I don't bother with pointless fights. I won't hit you, but you'll have to pay for your crimes in cash.
What?
In addition to the $1 million demanded by your chairman, I'm imposing a $100,000 fine for the trouble you've caused. You won't be able to pay it all at once, so $10,000 a month will do.
$10,000 per month.
Hearing the amount, the two men were dismayed. Then, the man with sunglasses revealed a fact.
Actually, we owe about $50,000 in debts to loan sharks. We're already struggling to make those payments, so coming up with the money will be difficult.
So, you can't pay the $1 million demanded by the chairman either.
Actually, that's right.
Why did you even borrow money?
The two fell silent at Wally's question. Looking at their expressions, it was clear they didn't want to talk much.
Well, if you don't want to say, that's fine. But you're definitely going to pay back the money. Of course, the $1 million demanded by the chairman is non-negotiable.
Wait, please! Being charged such a huge amount would mean a lifetime of debt, right?
Please, is there any way you could reduce the amount?
They begged desperately towards Wally and the chairman. After a moment of silence, Sandra made a suggestion.
How about if they compete against me, and if they win, we'll call it even? If you two are okay with it, I don't mind taking them on.
That's an interesting proposal.
I have no objections. I can't imagine Sandra losing.
Wally and the chairman quickly agreed. The two men looked on in surprise.
Are you really going to let us off if we win?
If you win, that is. How about it? Want to take on Sandra?
I don't mind it being 2 against 1. I don't see myself losing to you guys at all.
In that case,
Unaware of what they were getting into, their expressions brightened.
we'll take that challenge. Are you sure about 2 against 1?
It doesn't matter. 1 or 2, it's all the same to me, you know.
Thus, the two found themselves in a 2-on-1 battle against Sandra. They seemed confident they could definitely win.
It's shameful for men to attack first, so feel free to come at me first.
They completely underestimated her. However, they were struck hard by Sandra and collapsed abruptly. Afterwards, they attempted to stand up and challenge her several times, but their fists were no match, and they ended up losing without landing a single blow. They looked at her in disbelief.
Unbelievable. How are you so strong?
There's no way you're just an ordinary woman.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a woman. I was known as the legendary leader of a ladies' group, strong enough in fights to be called that. Guys like you were a piece of cake for me.
The legendary leader.
Sandra had been the leader of a notorious ladies' group until she was 20. Even in her active days, she was feared in that circle. I met her after she had left the group, so I didn't know much about her past. The group she founded is still mentioned as the strongest group. Understanding her background, the two men were silent, likely reconciling with the reason for their defeat. Then, she gave them an order.
You guys hit my husband. You have something to say to him, don't you?
We're sorry for hitting you earlier.
Prompted by Sandra, they apologized to me. It's okay, I'm fine. I didn't get seriously injured or anything. Honestly, as long as Sandra was safe, that was all that mattered to me. Then Wally spoke up.
Since you lost to Sandra, you'll be paying as promised. $11 million, make sure you pay it.
The mention of the amount brought tears to their eyes.
That's impossible. We told you, we don't have that kind of money.
We've been beaten up enough. Please reduce the amount a little.
Don't say such ridiculous things. You think I'm going to say yes? You'll start working from tomorrow.
Start working.
If you don't have money, you'll have to become the money.
Don't tell me.
The two looked at him with frightened eyes, trembling uncontrollably. In response, he gave them a smug and defiant smirk.
Don't worry, I won't do anything to take your lives.
Upon hearing his response, the two showed a slight expression of relief. They must have been on edge, fearing they might lose their lives right there on the spot.
But you will be doing jobs that come with risks.
What kind of job?
The kind of job at sea that all mafias love. You two will be catching salmon. Of course, we'll have insurance for you guys.
They likely knew just how dangerous work at sea could be. Despite their desperate pleas for leniency, they were ignored, and the conversation ended. The next day, they were insured and taken to a distant city by the sea. They'll continue to work on the boat until they've earned the demanded amount. Work on the ship is perilous. Some members of the Dawn Syndicate who were sent to the ship as punishment disappeared within a month, never to be heard from again. Although earning the high amount on the ship is possible, the risk of something happening during work is high. However, this is a situation of their own making. It's pitiable, but they brought it upon themselves. Though the matter was settled finally, I felt uneasy.
You look down. What's wrong?
Well, I was just thinking, if I were more manly and something you could be proud of. Like the other day, it felt like you were saving me. I just feel like I'm not cool enough.
I disliked my weakness. With Sandra being such a strong and cool woman, it made me feel even more so.
Kevin, you're plenty manly and cool. You tried so hard to protect me the other day. I was really happy.
She said that with a blush, looking genuinely happy. Her words greatly comforted me. Then, looking into my eyes, she said,
You're plenty cool just as you are, okay? I love your kindness and thoughtfulness. Everyone has their strengths, and you should just focus on enhancing yours. At least, I love you just the way you are now.
I truly felt grateful to be married to her. I want to make her as happy as possible moving forward.